Hi once again, everyone, and welcome to another one of our series of University of Houston Alumni Association interviews. I'm Tom Franklin, and my guest today is Ricky Raven. He is an attorney with Thompson and Knight LLP, senior partner there, also a member of the University of Houston's Alumni Association Board of Directors, and an incoming chair. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to be with you.
All right. Give us a little bit of the history of Ricky Raven. Who are you? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Beaumont. I am one of 7 children. My father was a refinery worker in Beaumont, worked for the Goodyear plant, and grew up there. And when I was 18, University of Houston was where me and my best friend, also a U of H alum, Roy Armstrong, went off to college, and we stayed at Moody Towers for 3 or 4 years, and he's a pharmacist now at Walgreens, and then I went from undergraduate school to law school at U of H, and so finished undergraduate in '83, law school in '86.
What'd you do growing up as a kid in Beaumont?
I was a golfer, and I played a lot of golf. I played golf with my dad, played golf with my brothers. I played tournament golf. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I still play today. You know, it was a typical Southeast Texas upbringing. You know, church on Sunday, football on Friday. You know, hardworking, both shoulders to the wheel all the time. You know, just being a good student, trying to be a good citizen.
Was it the history of the University of Houston golf program that influenced you to come here, or something else?
It was that. I mean, at that time, U of H had the greatest golf program in collegiate golf, in collegiate golf history, quite frankly. More national championships, more PGA Tour players. At that time, interestingly, more European players played at U of H than probably any other school in the country. Where now, you know, I mean, it's not uncommon at all to have a foreign-born player play for a university. But that, you know, we've had people like, you know, Nick Faldo was here for a while, right. Lee Westwood was here for a while, Bernard Longer. And so, you know, those kinds of names and where they are etched in the history of golf, I mean, it was just a great place to want to go and be a student.
All right, so your undergraduate days, you majored in what?
Political science. I was political science, and I also had a minor in biology because initially I actually wanted to be a physician. That was my life's goal, right? And after a rather difficult experience with organic chemistry, I said, you know, I think I'm more of a liberal arts guy, and but it was a great experience. I mean, I loved my time here. I was fortunate enough to be the student of a man named Ross Lentz, and he did more for me than any person I had ever met outside of my parents. He taught me literally how to write critically, how to write and how to think analytically, and he really put into my mind this ambition that I could be a trial lawyer, and he's just a tremendous impact on my life.
So, living in Moody Towers, what were some of the memories about that?
Well, it was great fun. Like I said, my roommate was my best friend growing up, and so you know, we had great times. I met so many wonderful people from all over the country that I still maintain relationships and friendships today. It was kind of it was more communal than I guess most dormitories, but you know, we ate together and we socialized together, and at that time the football team lived in Moody Towers as well. And so that was a lot of fun. And really the basketball team lived there for a little while too. And so it was just great fun. It was the spot to be on campus, quite frankly. You know, all of my social activities kind of emanated or were born out of my Moody Towers experience.
Okay, so you get your undergraduate degree. What happened next?
Well, I go on to I graduate in May, start law school in August of 1983. Yeah, at the University of Houston, and it was shocking to me, quite frankly, the initial experience of law school, because what you don't realize is that you come from an environment where you have you've done well in school and you think you're a good student and you're ready to go to the next level and you worked hard and prepare yourself, and then you go to law school and you discover it's just a whole different way of thinking, a whole different way of writing, a whole different way of doing things, a new set of critical tools that you need in order to be successful. And so I had to really just kind of recompute the way I do things, the way I think, the way I write, what was important in something that I read. But it was a great experience. It changed my life. They tell you in law school that this is something that will, when you're through with it, you will be a different person. And that's true. The way you solve problems, the way you evaluate facts, the way you read anything, whether it's professionally or just recreationally, you read it differently as a result of your legal training.
As you look back, was it a good thing to go right from undergraduate to law school, or would you like to have taken a break and got out in the world first?
If I had control over my situation at that time, I probably would have taken some time off. But I was so focused on getting through with it because I realized that with a political science undergraduate degree, there were only a limited number of things that I could do and make a living. And I didn't think I could, quite frankly, make the income that I wanted to make with just a degree in political science. And so I decided, let's just go ahead and put both shoulders to the wheel and get this done. And we'll be done in 3 years, and then we can go out and try the career build.
Now, you mentioned you had a significant influence in your undergraduate days. Was there a significant influence in your law school days?
Yeah, there were a number of instructors that impacted me. I mean, there were people like John Nibel, professors like Yale Rosenberg, Elwin Lee. All of these folks were just, James Covington. All of these were great instructors who impacted me and kind of, mentored me casually on the side about what you want to do and how do you want to do it, what area of law do you want to focus on. And so my 7 years here were magnificent years. I look back on them fondly because I worked hard. I learned a lot. I made great friends and developed great relationships, and so it was just a wonderful experience.
Are there some factors, some principles that you learned in those 7 years that you've applied to your career to get you to where you are today that you use still today?
Yes, I think there's no question. What I learned foremost is that your whole professional demeanor has to be about excellence. And I think I learned that at the University of Houston. It is about attaining excellence, maintaining excellence on a consistent basis, because that is really the distinguishing characteristic of a professional. At what level of excellence do you practice? And that is what I've always tried to maintain, that excellence is being a top performer and doing my job exceedingly well.
So the recent doctrine from the Carnegie Institute that listed the University of Houston as a Tier 1 school, and President Couture's goal to be a Tier 1 school fits right in with your line of thinking.
Absolutely. Ross Lynch used to say, he would say, Mr. Raven, I always find it interesting that nobody talks about the fact that the University of Houston is the biggest school in the biggest city in the biggest state in the southern half of the country. And he says that is something of significance. We ought to be a Tier 1 university because research ought to emanate from the biggest school in the biggest city in the biggest state in the southern half of the country. I think that's only fitting. Houston is a magnificent business center. It's going to continue to be a magnificent business center. And so I think it's only fitting. I think it's only appropriate. I think U of H is where we rightfully ought to be in leading this country in terms of research and cutting edge technology.
But to that end, it takes participation, not only from those who are professors and whatnot here, but it takes participation from those who, like you and I, have come through this school and have been a part of it. What would you say to people who got their degrees here and have kind of gravitated away? How would you bring them back?
Well, I think One is that our future is brighter than our past. And the fact that this is something that's huge, it is going to only get bigger, it is only going to get better, and most importantly, each and every one of us has something to add that ought to be a part of that future, that we can leave an indelible mark in this effort to make the University of Houston bigger and better than it's ever been. I thought I got a great education here. I thought it was a great place to go to school. But University of Houston is a totally different school than when I started.
You and I both.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
In 1979. I mean, it's not even close to the school it is today. And so that only speaks volumes to the progress that has been made. But more importantly, there's still a lot of progress that needs to be accomplished. And I think each of us as alums can participate in that process. We all have something to add, whether it be time or money or information or a skill set. Each of us has I think an obligation really to make the University of Houston as big as it possibly can be.
You've stayed pretty active in the university, not only with the Alumni Association, but other groups as well. Why is that?
I love the university. I really love the university. I mean, I think about the life I live, the opportunities I've had, the life I can provide my family is all a result of the education that I earned at the University of Houston. And so I mean, I don't think you need to say anything else. I mean, you can't. That when something or someone does that much for you, then they will always be just an incredible part of who you are and what you are, and you have an obligation, I think, to make sure that someone else has that same opportunity.
Well, an easy way for you out there to do that is by simply joining the Alumni Association. Alumni Association membership is one of the things considered for Tier 1 status, and that's what we're striving for here at the University of Houston. To find out more, just go to our website, www.houstonalumni.com. You'll find out about the various ways you can join, the membership levels, new grads, longtime grads, faculty, and staff. If you've been a member of the Alumni Association, we appreciate your support, and maybe it's time you might want to think about upgrading to a lifetime membership. We have great benefits for you. Liberty Mutual Insurance is out there, La Quinta Hotels, UPS, Landry's Restaurants, a whole lot of ways we can save you some money, and it's also a way for you to reconnect with your past here at the University of Houston just by joining the Alumni Association. www.houstonalumni.com is where you find out more. For Ricky Raven, I'm Tom Franklin. Thanks for joining us on this edition of the University of Houston Alumni Association Video Interviews.